higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it. But you didn't do it.
StephenASmith is known for his fiery takes, but this time, he sparked a firestorm aimed directly at WNBA players and leadership under Commissioner Kathy Berbert. His comment struck at a deeper frustration shared by fans and analysts, how the league has mishandled one of its brightest stars, CaitlinClark. Imagine a league with a player so electrifying that she shatters viewership records and fills arenas in her debut season. CaitlinClark isn't just a rising star, she's a game-changer capable of elevating the entire sport. Yet, instead of capitalizing on her historic success, the WNBA's response has been strangely underwhelming. Fans are left wondering, is the league investing in its future or standing in its own way? With Clark's unprecedented impact, the WNBA has a golden opportunity to grow like never before. But if leadership continues to fumble, they risk wasting the momentum of their most marketable player.
Want to, rather. You were a bit hesitant and reluctant and resistant to it. So much so you didn't push for her to be on Team USA. So much so, you had people like Cheryl Swoops who didn't even want to mention her name.
But that's just the beginning. Looking deeper, a troubling reality emerges, a league at a crossroads. StephenA isn't holding back. If the WNBA keeps missing the mark, what's the price? Ignoring its own momentum could stunt its growth, leaving fans and players frustrated. The league must decide. Evolve or fall behind.
And everybody talking about other WNBA players not being appreciated. Nobody insulted them. Nobody dismissed their contribution. We were simply saying, despite the contributions for years and years and years, a lot of people didn't care. Fair or not, until CaitlinClark came along.
When StephenASmith takes the mic, his words don't just echo, they shake the room. This time, his fiery critique targeted the WNBA, calling out veteran players and Commissioner Kathy Engelbert's leadership. His issue? The league's failure to fully recognize and capitalize on CaitlinClark's meteoric rise. Clark's record-breaking performances have electrified fans, redefining what's possible on the court. Yet, instead of embracing her star power, the WNBA's response has been underwhelming. Smith didn't hold back, exposing a deep-rooted issue that many whisper about but few address: the widening gap between on-court talent and boardroom decisions. This isn't just one misstep, it's a troubling pattern. How can the WNBA allow its brightest star to be sidelined in its own narrative? If the league doesn't course correct, it risks squandering its greatest opportunity for growth.
If you went the opposite direction, it could have helped that much and facilitated you being in an even stronger position to get yours. But you didn't do it. You didn't do it. Wow.
Recent examples highlight the WNBA's puzzling silence on CaitlinClark's historic achievements. Despite earning major recognitions like Forbes 30 Under 30 and BBC Sports Personality of the Year, and bringing attention to women's sports through LPGA appearances, the league's official channels barely acknowledged her success, or ignored it entirely. Fans took notice and didn't hold back. The most glaring example? Her Rookie of the Year celebration, or lack thereof. While other award winners received grand gestures, Clark's recognition came via a simple phone call. For a player transforming the sport, the league's lukewarm response raises serious questions about how it values its biggest star.
They decided that they were going to let her know she was Rookie of the Year with a phone call in Connecticut during a practice before a playoff game. You can't make this up.
What made StephenASmith's critique even more powerful was the undeniable truth behind it. Fans and players alike have felt this disconnect for years, but struggled to put it into words. This wasn't just about CaitlinClark. It was about respect, investment, and a league seemingly unsure of how to champion its future. Smith took it further, pointing out that these weren't just minor marketing missteps. They were symptoms of a larger issue, an organizational reluctance to embrace bold moves and amplify star power in a way that aligns with modern sports culture. Clark isn't just an athlete. She's a phenomenon, drawing must-watch crowds and reigniting passion for the WNBA. Yet, the league appears hesitant, even unsure of how to fully capitalize on her impact. If it doesn't act fast, it risks losing a once-in-a-generation opportunity.
Elevated television ratings, it elevated attendance, and it damn sure elevated franchise value. But now, something that y'all resisted talking about, opining about, acknowledging.
The consequences of the WNBA's hesitation could be monumental. StephenASmith's frustration wasn't just about CaitlinClark. It was a warning about the league's future. Fans are demanding transparency, aggressive promotion of their favorite athletes, and a clear commitment to growing the game. Without these elements, even the WNBA's most promising moments risk fading into irrelevance. This isn't just about boosting ratings. It's about trust, vision, and leadership, key ingredients needed to elevate the sport. In today's fast-moving sports landscape, momentum is everything. The league finally has the spotlight, but if it fails to capitalize on this golden opportunity, it could fall behind once again. Smith's urgent call for change wasn't just another hot take, it was a challenge. CaitlinClark represents what the WNBA could become, a powerhouse league with global appeal. But now, leadership faces a crucial decision. Embrace this potential or continue to fumble? Will they rise to the moment, taking bold steps to secure the league's future, or will change at the top be necessary for the WNBA to truly thrive? The answer will determine the league's trajectory for years to come.
Are you willing to admit how stupid it was for y'all not to go all in speaking your piece to elevate CaitlinClark? So therefore even more attention could have come and y'all could have reaped the benefits? Now you're gonna do it anyway, and I get that, but you see my point?
When Commissioner Cathy Engelbert stepped onto national television, fans and players expected a strong, confident voice championing WNBA stars and outlining a bold vision for the league's future. Instead, her remarks exposed a troubling disconnect in leadership. Her appearances on 60 Minutes and CNBC's Power Lunch left many questioning the league's direction. When asked on 60 Minutes about CaitlinClark's monumental impact, Engelbert's response was dismissive. No league's ever about one player. Rather than celebrating Clark's influence, her words reinforced concerns about the WNBA's reluctance to embrace its rising star.
I noticed when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
While Engelbert's comment was meant to emphasize teamwork, it inadvertently downplayed CaitlinClark's transformative impact on the WNBA's growth. Clark has driven record-breaking viewership, skyrocketing fan engagement, and unprecedented visibility for the league. Instead of celebrating this, Engelbert's response felt dismissive, sparking frustration across social media as fans saw it as a missed opportunity to uplift the sport's biggest rising star. Her remarks became even more perplexing during her CNBC Power Lunch appearance. While discussing rivalries as a key driver of viewership, she focused heavily on marketing strategies while sidestepping critical issues like player safety and fair treatment. This disconnect left both players and fans questioning her priorities. For many, it was a glaring oversight that exposed a growing gap between leadership's messaging and the league's reality, one that could impact the WNBA's future.
White, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another.
The consequences of this disconnect are profound. While Engelbert focuses on leveraging rivalries to boost ratings, players like CaitlinClark face inconsistent officiating and physical challenges that could jeopardize their careers. Fans aren't looking for more drama. They want integrity, fairness, and a genuine commitment to the athletes driving the league forward. Ignoring these fundamentals risks eroding the trust essential for the WNBA's growth. Without real change, the league may struggle to sustain the momentum it has worked so hard to build.
It's a balance, but certainly from a marketing dollars, but corporate partners are stepping up to endorse these players much more so than they were 5 years ago.
Take, for instance, the ongoing officiating inconsistencies that have frustrated both players and fans. Refereeing in the WNBA swings from overly strict to bafflingly lenient, disrupting the game's flow and creating safety risks. Athletes like CaitlinClark, known for their aggressive drives and precision plays, face an increased injury risk due to these inconsistent standards. One glaring example: Clark received a technical foul for merely hitting the ring post, an incident that sparked widespread outrage over the league's uneven officiating. Without clear, consistent enforcement of the rules, players are left navigating uncertainty, while fans grow increasingly frustrated with the league's inability to maintain fairness.
CaitlinClark gets hit with a technical. After
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed a three and then I went and hit the backboard, and he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball.
Let's see if the same call was made when Diana Taurasi did the exact same thing.
And Diana Taurasi, they'll count the bucket. And
These officiating missteps highlight a larger issue: the perception that the WNBA prioritizes optics over real improvements. Rather than addressing blatant inconsistencies, the league leans on marketable narratives like rivalries to draw attention. But fans aren't asking for favoritism. They want fairness. The game itself should be the main attraction, not overshadowed by off-court controversies. If the WNBA truly wants to grow, it must focus on consistency, integrity, and ensuring a level playing field for all players.
I said CaitlinClark, rising tide lifts all boats. As much as her presence was maximized by the WNBA, you players could have done more to assist it.
Player safety remains a major concern in the WNBA, and CaitlinClark's historic season has only magnified the issue. Her fast-paced, record-breaking performances came with a troubling trend: an alarming number of flagrant fouls that raised concerns among fans and analysts. Despite this, the league has done little to address officiating inconsistencies or introduce stronger safety measures. The lack of action leaves players vulnerable and calls into question the WNBA's commitment to their well-being. Now, let's take a closer look at one of the fouls Clark endured, how it was officiated in the WNBA versus how the NBA handled similar incidents.
Tell me CaitlinClark gets a special whiff so ever again. One call was an ejection and the other was a common foul. Now, let's replay this one more damn time. So I can see right here. This was the exact same damn play. Look, same play, bro. Look at this. Are you serious right here? Boom, same play.
by Williams
Same play. Now, Grant Williams was ejected for that.
Beyond officiating and safety concerns, the WNBA's handling of CaitlinClark's meteoric rise exposed a deeper issue: missed opportunities to maximize a once-in-a-generation talent. Fans filled arenas and shattered viewership records, eager to support Clark and the league. Yet, merchandise celebrating her achievements was scarce, and promotional efforts around her historic season were minimal. This left fans frustrated and sent a discouraging message. While players like Clark shine on the court, the league struggles to deliver off it. Clark's breakout season wasn't just a collection of highlights. It was a defining moment for the WNBA to elevate its brand and capture new audiences. Instead of embracing the momentum, the league fumbled its chance to showcase a unified commitment to both its players and fans. These missteps aren't just disappointing. They risk alienating the very supporters who are pushing the league to new heights. The question remains: will the WNBA learn from its mistakes?